Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Alright, quick post-fight thoughts of Tony Yoka versus Peter Milas. Tony Yoka actually stops Peter Milas in the 7th round, last few seconds of the 7th round. Now I have to say, I thought Tony Yoka would win this fight. I didn't, however, think that he would stop Peter Milas. I thought this fight would go the distance. I actually thought this fight was a 12-rounder. It was only a 10-rounder. When I heard it was a 10-rounder, I was like, oh, it's definitely going the distance then. Tony Yoka, in his last few performances, come under a bit of fire. A lot of people weren't... You see, about this time last year, he fought Johan Duhaupas. And Johan Duhaupas is known for having a great chin, being very durable. And he was stopped in a round by Tony Yoka. A lot of people were impressed with that. Tony Yoka then goes on to fight Christian Hammer. Now, people weren't impressed with that because they said Tony Yoka looked very poor in that fight. Although he won every round, he couldn't get Christian Hammer out of there. And I was kind of like, well, hang on a sec. Hammer, although he looked out of shape, although he looked fair, Hammer's not the best heavyweight in the world by no stretch of the imagination. But he's wily. He knows how to survive. He's done it with several fighters over the years. Look at him against Povetkin in 2017. And that was a Povetkin who was closer to his peak than obviously he was when he fought Dylan White. And even Povetkin couldn't do anything with him. He just was negative like that. He fought I think he was Belgium. I forget the guy's name now, but he fought him in his last fight. It went 12 rounds, and Yoka stopped him in the 12th round. Now, personally, I saw improvements from Yoka. I saw his jab looked a lot better in that fight, and I thought that he was showing... It was almost looking of... The movement kind of reminded me a bit of Andre Ward, you know, a heavyweight Andre Ward. And you could see elements that Virgil Hunter, who he's training with now, was throwing into Tony Yoka. Now, in this fight, I'm not going to lie, I didn't catch the first 4 rounds. I caught the 5th round onwards. Now, what I liked about Tony Yoka from what I saw was the work he was doing to Peter Milas' body. He was throwing in some good shots in there. Milas was definitely game. Milas came into this fight undefeated, although he hadn't really done much in the last few years. People were talking about him more so in 2018. You know, he'd fought guys like Kevin Johnson and won in, you know, decent fashion. I think he stopped Kevin Johnson with cuts, which most people don't stop Kevin Johnson. So Peter Milas was, you know, he was definitely more game. He was definitely game. You know, it was definitely an improvement. You may even argue potentially this is his best win, potentially. Other than Johan Duhaupas, you could say this is Yoka's best win. Certainly his performance looked very good. He was what he was doing there, he was breaking Peter Milas down. His jab, again, looked very on point. I like Tony Yoka's jab. I think Tony Yoka's jab doesn't get enough credit. It looks very hard, very fast, very accurate. Some people don't like Tony Yoka. They think he's a bit boring. He's, you know, more amateurish, maybe some people have said, than he is pro-ish. I've rated Tony Yoka for a while. There are some black marks against him, like in 2018 with those 3 missed drug tests. I will attest to that. That is a black mark. That's a red flag. But in terms of what I see from his skill and ability, he's definitely got skill and ability there. And he's definitely going to be a problem for some of these heavyweights. Make no mistake about it. And he is still quite young. He's only, 28? You know, he's not that old, you know, in the grand scheme of things. 28, 29. For a heavyweight, that's not really anything. Most heavyweights don't come into their prime until they're in the 30s anyway. For most of them anyway. Yoka in the 7th round, there was a few shots from Peter Milas that went in. You know, there was most noticeably a right hand when he was backed up against the ropes from Peter Milas. But Yoka was able to land some hard right hands on him, and he did go down, and he looked hurt. It looked like the fight had been beaten out of him at that point. Yoka definitely has more power than I think other people give him credit for. So Yoka dropped him with that, but they dropped him with a lovely uppercut straight after, and Peter Milas actually just collapsed in the corner. You know, he was down, just sat in the corner, and I thought he was going to sit the count out personally. That's what I believe. I thought he's sitting the count. He actually got to his feet. The referee could have let him carry on because the round was essentially over. He could have gone back to his corner, but the referee, I think, we all knew the right. You could tell, like, I only caught 2 and a bit rounds on this, but you could tell the right was on the wall just from what you'd seen, and the referee rightfully so waved it off. And I think that was the correct decision, because at the end of the day, if it had gone into the 8th round, Tony Yoka would have found some more shots, and Yoka definitely hits hard. He could have hurt Peter Milas quite badly in there. So right decision from the referee. Tony Yoka, this is a good little win from him. I'd like to see where he goes next. I've heard rumours, and there are rumours, that Joe Joyce is no longer European champion. Now, if someone wants to correct me and say, no, he is, or no, he's not, I don't know. But I've heard rumours saying that because he's going down the world title route, that he's no longer European champion. If someone wants to correct me in the comment section, say, no, gee, he is, that's fine. But if that title is vacant, it is Marco Huck, isn't it, who's mandatory for the European. Maybe Yoka could get a crack at that. It'd be a nice little trick. Marco Huck has been washed for years. So, in terms of just sheer competition, it's not the best. But it's a European title nonetheless. Because even before this fight, Yoka's been talking about world level. Maybe you want to just... Not saying that he's not good enough. I'm sure he can be. But maybe you just want to take a bit more time. What's wrong with going and getting a European title? Defending it against some guys at European level, or maybe going the fringe world level then after. Marco Huck is not an opponent who I would put in with any heavyweight at Yoka's level, because I believe that Yoka is levels above Marco Huck at this stage. Huck has been washed for years, many years, 5 or 6 years now at this stage. So it wouldn't be the most competitive fight in the world, but at least it would get him a European title. So that's my thoughts on that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to have this on too much. I didn't see the first few rounds, so maybe on review of the week I'll give more of an assessment when I have a look at the first few rounds. But for now, I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe of course if you haven't already. For now, I'll talk to you. Peace.